Hi, I'm Shaka Hislop, and here's Extra Time TV.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of EXTV Live. This is Andre Soklal, and I know a lot of people have been asking why I didn't do my reaction after the game. Trinidad Tobago, unfortunately, folks, have been eliminated from entering the World Cup officially in 2026. It's done. We drew 1-1 against Jamaica. I did the watch along, so I'd like to say a special thank you for all of those who joined into the watch along and those of you who are new. I was feeling a little bit under the weather. Otherwise, I would have done this a lot sooner. So like, you guys said, this is, like you guys, as I mentioned before, this is live, uncut. And, I'm going to try my best to do this as best as possible. So, everybody, I know everybody's disappointed. But before I get things started, I want to mention that, we have announced our winner for the jersey. And as you can see here, it has the autographs of Kylie Aubrey, Dante Seeley, and a couple other guys in there. It was in a hurry, but we have four of them in there. And also, for those of you who don't know, a lot of you Trinbago fans out there have been asking about jerseys. So what I did, and if you all want, this is not sponsored by anything. I grabbed a couple extra jerseys, so I have a whole bunch of these. So if anybody wants to grab a couple before the next match against Bermuda, I guess you could reach out to me in the comment section below in the live stream and I can get it. I just saw a couple extra in a store and I just took them. I took some for a couple of friends, but I figured why not put it out there? So, with that being said, we're going to head straight into it. Trinidad Tobago. I know a lot of people have a lot to say. There's a lot of videos out there already of everybody speaking their mind about what took place. And, truth be told, I wish I was wrong, but the game ended 1-1. Ronaldo gave us in the 53rd minute with their one real shot on goal from a counter attack, and then Kevin Molino came on in the 85th minute. He came on, but he scored a goal in the 85th minute. So it's a lot to break down, and I'm not going to get very technical, but I'm going to go through the basic stats. So as it stands, folks, Curacao is on 11 points, Jamaica 10 points, and Trinidad Tobago, no matter what, the maximum we can get is 9, and I think that'll be good to end on a high for Trinidad Tobago. This is not going to be the typical reaction you expect. This is going to be a bit different, but as it stands, that's what it is right now. That's the reality. We are out. Curacao and Jamaica have a very tricky last game. Steve McLaren and a lot of Jamaicans. I know we had Lance Armstrong, Lance Whitaker on, not Lance Armstrong on, and he told us, Jamaicans are not very happy with Steve McLaren's, what he gets out of the team. Jamaica have to get that win now. So that's a whole other discussion we'll talk about. Maybe we'll have Lance on or somebody else from Jamaica to talk about it, to get their perspective. But it is what it is. Trinidad Tobago, a lot of people are reacting how you expect them to react. I saw all the YouTube videos, and like I said, I didn't react immediately, mostly because I was feeling a little bit under the weather. I had to kind of recharge my batteries a little bit. And now I'm here to do this. So of course I'm using it in the EXTV live weekly episode, which I told you all I was going to do, and that's what I'm doing now. So I got some cool stats, so let's take a quick look at them from SofaScore. As you can see here, just to show you how much we dominated this game, and how, as I mentioned in my match preview, both mines and the one with Lance, and if you don't know who Lance is, he's formerly of Sportsmax, now Rush, I believe, we both indicated a draw. So as you can see here, 62% possession, 38% possession. That's how much we dominated. And, a lot of people don't like numbers, but it really does reflect our dominance in the game. Of course, the one key stat is the goal scoring. We'll get to that just now. 17 shots, 6 on target versus Jamaica with 6 but 1 on target, and they made it count from the breakaway. 10 fouls versus 13. It was a very physical game. 57% duels, 143. 3 big chances created for Trinidad Tobago. And the overall SofaScore rating, 6.94 versus 6.70. And I'm going to actually bring on someone from SofaScore who will answer these questions, like how they calculate these things and so on. They're reputable, and I'd like to say thank you for giving us these stats. Now, just to move along, let's look at the shot map, just to show you the areas and how much we dominated in that area. So as you can see here, the balls with the dot there obviously are the shots on target. And the ones without the dots are the shots all over, and then the goal. And of course Jamaica And if you look, there were shots from in and around the box. We had a lot of shots inside the box. I remember Levi and a couple others creating chances and heading out. I'm seeing people coming in the stream now. So like I said, folks, I'm glad you all are joining me. I was a little bit delayed because I was feeling a little bit under the weather. And, I'm getting used to my new glasses. My first glasses ever. And you can see, Kevin Molino in the 85th minute. I don't think you guys could see the mouse on my screen, but you could see we had a lot of shots on target. A lot of shots on target. Obviously, it explains underneath with legend there, goal, shots on target, miss or block. So just to give you a visual representation, because a lot of people, strangely enough, said they were not happy with how we played. So we dominated in the stats overall. And then just to show you, even if you have some doubts, the momentum maps. So just to explain what this is, a lot of the times, when people speak about matches and, in the rum shop talk, as we say in Trinidad and Tobago, not stats like what we use here, you could see they usually like to say people dominate. But this is our chart that proves this from SofaScore once again. The red is Trinidad and Tobago's momentum during the map, and the yellow is Jamaica. And you can see, obviously, on the screen, the yellow and the red ball is when the goals were scored. And if you look, when the goal was scored, the momentum was in Trinidad's favor. And the majority of the game, the momentum was in Trinidad's favor. In the first half, you could see little sprinkles where it was sort of even, but still, Trinidad and Tobago had a little more ascendancy. But in the second half, it went completely in Trinidad's favor. And it just shows you how you could dominate all the stats if you do not score and take your chances. It doesn't matter. And that's what it came down to in the end. We played what I believe was one of the best games I've seen Trinidad and Tobago play in a long time. Unfortunately, we didn't score when it mattered, and we still lack that composure up front. Levi Garcia creating some chances. On another day, he would have scored. Kevin Molino coming on with his experience, and we'll talk about Kevin Molino in a little while, about his experience with the national team and him announcing his retirement up next. But it really shows how the cruel the game can be. And I'm not gonna react emotionally, because if you look at our previous match previews, I did one separately and then one with Lance Whitaker from Sportsmax, for those of you who checked it out, and we both said they were going to be draws, and unfortunately we were correct. That finishing up front is unfortunately what killed us off in the end. And I say this because in past eliminations, which unfortunately is a norm for us now, there's usually little to be positive about. And then I'm not going to say the things that everybody else said. You're going to have all these people coming out from the woodwork saying what we should do. And it feels like, a repeat message for the older people, a broken record, where they come out and they would say, we have to go to the grassroots and we have to revamp everything. And it's the same speech every time we don't get our way. And I'm not going to do that, because we know this. Sometimes I wonder if the people who are making decisions even understand what the problem is. But I'm also not, one of those people who are just negative for the sake of being negative. I saw some improvements in this campaign, and I know this is disappointing. We are very close. We're going to have a lot of emotional responses. But this is the first time in a long while, perhaps maybe when Stephen Hart was there, I can safely say I saw progression in the team when Dwight Yorke took over. I saw the team, and I analyzed them from the very beginning. I saw the weak areas we had. We had problems defending set pieces, aerial balls into the box. We had problems defending. We were very reactive. The passing combinations were not that great. We were generally resorting to athleticism a lot of the times. A lot of the goals were avoidable. However, as each game went by, I started to see a bit more confidence. The players starting to play a bit more proactive football. I'm starting to see people, get behind the team, which I'll get to just now. And a general adaptability that I haven't seen in a long time in Trinidad and Tobago football. One of the issues I had in the past for many years was our fitness and our inability to adapt to tactics in game quickly enough. Sometimes, for anybody who is of a certain age, you would know sometimes we would concede early, and then we would take forever to adjust tactically. The composure of the players on the field was definitely, I think, the emotional IQ on the pitch was very high. Of course, this is a heated game. There was a lot of, it's a passionate game. And that's one of the areas I saw where the fitness improved, the passing improved. It's not perfect, but it improved. Our tactical adjustment improved. And that's what you need to look at. You could easily say, oh, we didn't make it to the World Cup, fire this guy. That's not what I'm going to say. I actually personally think, if you want to ask my opinion, which is a separate topic, because these topics are decided by you all folks. I'll get to that just now about Dwight Yorke staying. I personally think he should stay on, and these are the reasons why. From a playing perspective, I think his staff and his team have earned the right to stay on. Now, I don't know if the TTFA, whatever decision they will make, but there's a lot of positives to come out of this. There's a resurgence of positivity around Trinidad Tobago football that wasn't there before. In previous eliminations, it looked dire. We looked like we were going nowhere. This doesn't mean we are perfect. There are big problems in Trinidad Tobago football, that people that need to get out. There are people that need to change our overall football, which is what everybody talks about every time we get eliminated from a tournament. And it annoys me because, those people, nothing changes. But like I said, I'm not just being negative for the sake of being negative. I could also be positive, and those positives are very important for Trinidad and Tobago. We did improve. And what I'm saying is we don't have this succession plan, continuity. And even when we did try continuity in the past, maybe perhaps a little bit too long. The one thing, whether I empathize with a lot of the coaches we had in the past, whether you like them or not, from Terry Fennick, Angus Eve, Dennis Lawrence, Stephen Hart, is that there were a lot of things that were not in place for these guys to do their jobs. We are up against the wall in many other areas, and it is what it is. Football is a very expensive sport, and it's not just you. It's not like back in the day you just pick a 11 and hope for the best and unearth gems. We have to create them. I'm not seeing anything that other people have not said before. The problem is we have a lot of people who talk in our local football, and the execution is a whole different matter. We have people, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to choose my words very carefully, and I'm seeing people coming in the stream here, and I'm sure all of you will agree with me. There are elements and people in Trinidad and Tobago that need Trinidad and Tobago football, and then there are people who are trying to actually help Trinidad and Tobago football. And I'm going to say that again. There are people who work in football that need Trinidad and Tobago football, and there are some that want to actually help. And when I say need, individuals that are not invested in the development of Trinidad and Tobago football but themselves. And they know who they are. And they're in there. They don't want to leave. They don't want to implement new moves. They're too scared. And if new people come in, they are the first to criticize. And a lot of some of the regular people there who have been saying the same thing for years are still saying the same things now. We're hearing the same thing over and over. So, to answer a lot of people's questions, and, a lot of people were, inboxing and sending stuff to, EXTV. I would say, while it is very disappointing that we did not make it to the World Cup, there's a lot of positives there. And personally, I think we should stick with these guys, give them what they need, barring a collapse in form, and use this as a platform that we should have had in 2006 to continue to develop. Dwight Yorke brings a lot of different things outside the tactical aspects of the game. He's a young coach. He cares about Trinidad and Tobago. Obviously, there's not going to be absolute perfection. Everybody's going to have their thoughts. And that's another thing in Trinidad and Tobago. When people have different thoughts, it doesn't mean that you're slamming anybody or you're arguing. You have to learn how to have conversations now. If somebody has a different opinion, it doesn't mean you hate that person. It means you have different thoughts. And, our women's football, I'm seeing people in the live stream talking about it. Our youth football, or the standard of our professional league, all these things. And again, I'm saying things that other people have said. I saw a video circulating on Facebook with a player, and he was mentioning about Belgium and those things, and how the standard is just a whole other level. And these are things that people have been saying all the time. So I'm hoping now with all these different YouTubers and streamers and everybody else, and the audience is becoming more educated now. You guys and gals and people out there, it's no longer in the past. We have access to all the information, so there's no longer this line between we are football people and you are not. People are asking the hard questions now. There's a lot of things. We have a massive pool of players, and then there's the prejudicial part, then there is the corruption, then there's favoritism and so on. And we already have a small pool. Why make it smaller? So many things. But I'll end things off without harping too much, because like I said, I didn't want to do a typical reaction video where, I'm sad we lost, because I am disappointed. But I'm going to say it in my particular way. I love to use stats and, be pragmatic in my thinking. We have to use this as a platform. Now, I don't know the finances of TTFA and what's going on, but I did see improvement in the marketing. I did see improvement in the overall play. You could see a style and patterns of play emerging. You could see Dwight Yorke's ideas, and like I've always said, for not just Dwight Yorke, for all the coaches, you have to give them time. Unless you're just getting complete losses, that's different. It is a result-oriented game, but I am seeing an upward trajectory, and we have to be very smart about it. We have to make sure that we don't make the same mistakes we made in the past. We have to accept that we are no longer in contention. We have to start building for the upcoming Gold Cups, the Concacaf Nations League, and it has to be a continuous development program. It can't just be, okay, let's scrap everything and rebuild. I think we did have that rebuild about a year ago when a new regime came in. And this is administratively all the way down, and there's a million people who say the same things over and over, like I said multiple times in this video, which I'm not going to repeat. So, folks, you could let me know what you think. Feel free to let me know what you think. And like I said, just a reminder for everybody. We did announce the winner. I will have it on social media for the jersey. I picked up the wrong one. This is the one here with the 4 autographs. So there's Kylie Overy, Jaren Jackie, Dante Seeley, and I think, why can't I remember who it is? I think it's Andre Raymond. It could be. And so we have that jersey, and then also in addition, folks, everybody in the live stream and out there, and whoever watches this when they do come on, I did manage to grab a couple because a lot of my friends wanted jerseys, and I decided to grab a couple. So anybody who wants some, I took extras. This is not a profit thing. I got a couple here as well, the red ones and a couple of the black ones. If you all want them, you could reach out to me and let me know. And you could email me at EXTRATIME.TV, or even in the comment section below. And if you all want to get one before the Bermuda game, we can arrange that. That's just on me, Of course, you have to pay me for it. I'm buying these. I'm not making profit. I'm just trying to help people out because lots of people have been asking me about these jerseys. So I'm trying to help out. So anybody who wants one and wants to, you're pretty much paying whatever I paid in the store for it. So I'm like an unofficial salesman apparently. Because I was shocked when I saw them, and I grabbed a few for a couple of my friends. So anybody who wants, feel free to reach out to me. For those. So like I said, continue to support the channel, continue to like, subscribe, join. We have a membership option. We have the merch. I will put that in the link in the description below if you all want to support as well. But that's a jersey there, and we'll be doing another giveaway as well, folks, for the next game. If you all would like to meet at the Bermuda game, depends on the winners. I will announce it tomorrow. But the other winner will be on social media. I announced it during the last live stream, but I will put it on social media, and if that person doesn't claim it by tomorrow, it's up for grabs again. It's up for grabs. Like I said, it was a random draw, and I use this app to just pick random people, and it says it gives a preference to people who are regular. So it says. If I had to choose, I recognize a lot of the names in the live stream right now. And I would probably give you, if I had a whole bunch of jerseys and I had the big budget, I would have given them away. So like I said, I have a couple extra jerseys if anybody wants to buy them. I grabbed a couple extra in the store for some friends and family, and I figured a lot of you have been asking, so I do have them. It is what it is. So folks, let me know your thoughts about Trinidad Tobago, their campaign. Do you agree? Do you disagree with what I'm saying? If you disagree, that's okay. That's what a discussion is. And as I was saying before, in Trinidad Tobago, we need to stop this. If someone has a different opinion, you are now enemies. I saw an article where Kenwin Jones gave his thoughts about his tactics on the game, and it was reported as he was slamming Dwight Yorke, and he's not. He's giving his opinion, and we need to stop that. I don't know why we do that in Trinidad and Tobago. So everybody in here, let me know your thoughts on that. We have a lot of topics here on the live stream. So what I usually do is, before I move to the next topics, I usually tell everybody to like and subscribe. I'm almost at 3,000 subscribers, so that's really great. Small accomplishments, thanks to you all. And, let me know your thoughts. And, of course, we do have the topics selected by you all, as you can see here on the, this side. And, of course, if time permits, I always put aside a little section for questions. So I will go back in the comments while you all are messaging here. And if you all have questions, you can put them in there. And I will answer for a couple minutes. Like I said, I'm not feeling 100%. My glasses, I'm getting accustomed to my new glasses here, folks. You could let me know what you think. This is the first time I'm wearing glasses. But it is what it is. So, with that being said, like I said, I'm doing this all on my own. I'm going to head across to the next topic. I hope I do a good job here. It is Kevin Molino has announced his retirement from the national team. So, I did put the full video up, so I will put up a clip really shortly. And usually I put up a quote, but I will play a few seconds from the actual clip. So, here's a couple seconds. I'll probably give you all a good 60 seconds of what Kevin Molino had to say. So take a listen, folks, and let me know if you all are hearing it.
First and foremost, I think overall a good performance yet so far from getting the results. But when you look at the group, a lot to work on still, but a bright future for the young players and to move forward. When I look at the goal I scored, I'm happy to score the goal, happy not to get defeated by Jamaica, but I wish it was a turnaround on the next side, the goal for us to win the game, but unfortunately that wasn't it. But just happy, always happy to get a goal and happy to just keep that confidence going, but unfortunately difficult night for us not getting the 3 points. No man is a Highland and no man is a team, and there's no iron team to have iron win, but I just have to trust the coach and staff and trust my teammates even when I'm not selected or I am selected. I have trust in them, they have trust in me. I'll come out of retirement, they bring me back, and I believe in whatever they have installed for the team, and I am not bigger on the team, and I accept the decision they make, and I just stay positive on the bench, and just even if I get 1 minute or 2 minutes is for the betterment of Trinidad and Tobago football, the team, for us to move forward. I wish I did come on and score 2 goals. That was my mindset. My mindset was never negative or my body language. It was all for the greatness of the team and the greatness of Trinidad for us to do good to win the game. But overall, I'm happy to score. I wish we did win the game. Unfortunately, we didn't. And it's a learning lesson. It's not something negative. It's something that we can learn and we can grow. And when you look at Trinidad football, make a massive improvement, and we just have to take that in consideration. Yeah, first and
Yes, folks, I'm not going to play the entire thing, but if you want to look at the entire video, it's on the YouTube channel. You can head over to that and take a look at the entire thing. And you could tell he was emotional. I have another version on TikTok on the YouTube shorts. The full version is on the YouTube channel. I'm not going to play the entire thing. But, Kevin Molino has announced his, retirement. And it is sad. This is a guy that has done everything he can, for Trinidad and Tobago. I think over the years, I've seen him, with Kenwin. I remembered when he was at the under-20s and so on. This guy had a great career in the MLS. Kaká. And there's a clip I have, with him talking about this where a lot of people don't know this, but, Kaká, the Brazilian Kaká, at the time when he was, I believe that, Minnesota, I think, Orlando City, recommended Molino to AC Milan, to Giuliani. That's how highly he was rated, and they came down last year and they played together. That's how highly rated Kevin Molino was, and, he had all these injuries and he came back, multiple injuries, and, he stepped away. And then he came back and he wasn't afraid to express his opinions. And let's be real, folks. In the last couple games, when he came on, he made a massive difference. And I won't like, he might blush when I say this because we know each other really well. Kevin Molino, in a lot of ways, reminded me of that impact player Russell Atterby was towards the end of his career. I mean, Russell Atterby was always good. Make no mistake. But I remembered when Russell Atterby come on, things would happen. That player that would turn things around and, be able to dictate the pace of the play and, get that ball and get into the attacking thirds and in between the lines and create chances and form that fluidity in midfield to complement players like Rampasad and Phillips. And, he made a difference in every game he came on. And I know a lot of people have been saying, and, he should have started and, we could do the woulda, shoulda, coulda thing. But obviously, physically, he probably did not have the 90 minutes in him. I don't know because I'm not there. I'm just speculating. There's obviously something Yorke must have seen where, he wasn't going to start Kevin Molino. And I don't know. I'm just guessing. It could be physical. Could be tactical. A lot of people are saying he should have come on sooner. And, we'll get that. It's an emotional response to the game. A lot of people are saying, hey, listen, Kevin Molino should have come on. He should have played a little bit more. But it is what it is. And unfortunately, for those of you who are going to the Bermuda game, that will be the last time you'll see him. Just a random note, I will be doing my watch along as well. I'm going to try to do it near to the stadium, folks, because a lot of people are asking for me at the stadium. I'm usually at the stadium for all the games doing media. But I really am super loyal to you streamers right now, the people who are viewing right now and, tuning in every week. And I'd like you to continue supporting EXTV Live. We have the episodes every week. I'm doing this today because tomorrow I'm going to be at a training session. I may do another video with Lance Whitaker as well, former Sportsmax, now Ross Sports, where we may talk about this game and also the Jamaica-Curacao game and other things as well. So, folks, let me know what you think about Kevin Molino. I have a lot of fun content over the years with Kevin Molino. We played EAFC together. We had great interviews. I even interviewed him at a cricket event. He was actually playing cricket, where Darren Ganga had his very cool event. Where Brian Lara would play Darren Ganga in a match, and of course they would invite some of their cricket friends. A lot of these guys are related, Kevin Cooper and these guys. And I interviewed him down there, which is hilarious because we're two football guys and we were down there. Lots of fun content over the years with Kevin Molino. So hopefully I would like him to stay on. Maybe work with the coaching staff. Maybe be that unofficial other guy. We see it with a lot of national teams where you have these guys. They may not be playing anymore, but it's good to have them around. If that's something he wants, I think his professionalism and the way he conducts himself, from what I see, is very good and essential for younger players to look at if we want to continue what I mentioned in the previous point, when I was doing my initial reaction and mentioning Dwight Yorke and so on. That, to me, is very important for somebody like Kevin Molino. He has to stick around. Definitely has to stick around. So, folks, if you're in here, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts about Kevin Molino's retirement. What are your thoughts? What a favorite moment from Kevin Molino? I'm going to probably try to get an autograph him because I don't know when he's going to play again. So when I go to the training session tomorrow, I will probably try to get the Kevin Molino signature on the prize winner. So whoever the prize winner is, I'm not going to say it now because I have it in the last video, but I'm going to put it on my social media. And for those of you who... if he doesn't claim it before the next match day, it's up for grabs and somebody else is going to have to get it. And if one of you want to grab jerseys for the last game, I got them a little bit cheaper. So, if you want to grab it, because apparently it's sold out everywhere. I saw a couple today, and like I said in the previous video, I got a couple for some of my friends and family and anybody else. People have been asking me, so I have. So if you want to purchase one, reach out to me. I'm not an official dealer. I just bought a couple jerseys. So whatever I paid, I'll do that. Maybe when I get a sponsor one of these days, I'll just give them away. So, everybody in here, this is a great loss to Trinidad Tobago, but we do have some exciting players, and I will get into that next time. So, we'll head into our next topics. I'm going to try to do this, folks. I'm doing this. I'm trying my best. Right. So, we're going to head into the next topic, which is the preview of Trinidad Tobago versus Bermuda. Now, last time I did two previews. I did one, the usual preview that I always do for the Jamaica game. And then, Lance Whitaker, if those of you who don't know, great guy, very knowledgeable, legend of sports media at Sportsmax, and I think he's at Rush now. Came on and gave some really tremendous insights, and we both predicted how the game was going to go. And so a couple people pointed out to me that I got all my predictions correct for all the qualifiers. I don't even remember that because, like I said, I actually hate predictions. I just like to analyze the game and give an informed opinion. So, folks, a lot of people gave me some props for that, and I'm glad. But doing the previews are not really about predictions to me. It's about trying to analyze the game in a different way from everybody else. Yeah, and that's okay how other people do it. I have no issue with that. It's just I like to look at the data and the analytics and the sports and then the intangibles because I've worked with the women's team, I've worked in football, but I also have an appreciation for analytics. And when married together, they give you good insights, folks. Plus, you guys deserve the best, and I'll give you the best. So, folks, forgive me in advance. I am recovering from what is not really a flu, but I was feeling a bit under the weather. So now let's get into the game. So I'm going to pull back up the table really quickly. As you can see here, as it stands, Curacao is on 11 points, Jamaica is on 10, Trinidad and Tobago is on 6. So before we get to Trinidad and Tobago and Bermuda, Jamaica has to win that last game to get that top spot. Curacao just needs to draw and they're fine. So Jamaica is not in the all clear yet, and if they go into the second playoff spot, that's a whole different story. It's very difficult for them. It was going to be difficult for us if we got there, and we'll see how that goes. But for Trinidad and Tobago, as you can see, I would like for us to end on 9 points and on a high note, have a nice goodbye for Kevin Molino, and just continue that continuity plan. So we could end up on 9 points. Bermuda, like I said, I will never underestimate, Bermuda. I hope that the team is still motivated and they go out there and play a good game and they don't just phone it in, as Americans like to say. And, we play a great game. I'm not going to get too tactical in this game. We know how Dwight Yorke is going to play. You know, in the last game, you know, he used... oh, by the way, which was hilarious. Before the game, it was reported that he played 5-4-1, which technically wasn't wrong because he had 3 centre-backs. And he played... why? I can't remember his name right now. But anyway, 5 at the back. And then on the Concacaf stream, they put 4-4-2, which wasn't accurate. So I spent the entire stream trying to fix that because I always try to give you all the accurate the accurate formations, and hopefully that's not the case next time around. But you know, I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be the same lineup. Maybe Molino may get some more minutes. I don't want it to be like a glorified fet match for us. I think we should take it seriously. I think this should continue to emphasize now this is the beginning of the next cycle, and we take it seriously. And the fans, I have to say this, I have a massive peeve with the fans. I was looking at the live stream. I was at the stadium. I left the stadium, came to my studio to do the live stream, and the stadium was not filled. What is up with that? Is it the scalpers? I mean, what kind of fans are we? This is a massive game. And to the fans that were there, kudos to them. They were very loud and, you know, whatever. But, I mean, I didn't like that the stadium was not filled. I mean, that's a complete off-topic thing. We'll talk about that. Where, you know, it's almost like people were sitting on the bandwagon and waiting to jump on. And what I don't like about that is, if Trinidad Tobago got the results, these people who are not supporting usually knock the consistent supporters out and they don't get chances. I remembered when we qualified, when we were on the verge of qualification in 2006, sometimes the stadiums were almost empty at times when people thought we were out. Then we started to see a couple crowds coming back in. The real diehard fans were in there, but it was not filled. I remember that. I remember sitting in the sun. And then when we made it to the playoff against Bahrain, the stadium was filled. And people who were not fans of the game came in, and, you know, the actual fans couldn't get tickets. It was ridiculous. You know, that's something about our culture I have a real problem with. But let's talk about the Trinidad Tobago Bermuda game. Like I said, I'm not going to get into too much tactics. You know, in fact, I'm going to pull up some of the formations from the last games here really quickly. Let me pull that up really fast. So I'm going to do this. Like I said, I'm doing this on my own. It's very tough. So when we played Bermuda last, obviously we won. But I want to pull up the formations. We won 3-0. And, you know, everybody was happy, but we knew, you know, Bermuda, with all due respect, is not the strongest team in the group. They played a 4-2-3-1. We played the 4-2-3-1. I'm realizing, if you all haven't realized, Yorke seems to have a clear identity now, folks. You know, he's playing, you know, the 4-2-3-1. That's his preferred formation with Levi Garcia. He mentioned in great detail, which we mentioned multiple times, the number 9 position is a position that we are struggling with. We are absolutely struggling with. And, you know, tomorrow he might try something different. You know, I think he could take some liberties tomorrow, and we'll see. You know, will he try? Maybe he might start Mitchell and put Levi out wide, you know, just to avoid, you know, any injuries. I'm sure clubs are probably giving Yorke that little, you know, that email, hey, you know, listen, you know, club versus country, we don't want you to injure our players. But maybe he may try Mitchell up front, put Levi out wide, see how that works, give Mitchell some playing time. The number 9, so get him comfortable. I thought Mitchell was okay. He did do a nice hold-up play for Kevin Molino to score. You know, maybe try a different combination in midfield. You know, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe start with Molino. I mean, it's his last game, so maybe he might come on and then have a celebration and we give him the whole applause at the end. So personally, I think I love that Trinidad Tobago seems to be a bit more flexible now. We can switch it at 3-4-3. I mean 4-3-3 and 3-4-3 if necessary. We have the attacking players. The one thing we are missing is that number 9, and I hope we continue to build on this foundation. And we'll see what tactics he possibly tries tomorrow against Bermuda. I think Bermuda will obviously want to play for pride. They didn't want to come here. They'll probably want to come and teach us a lesson. And, you know, I understand why. They'll want to perform well. So I expect that we have to treat this like a competitive game as it is and use it for plans for the future. I know Dwight Yorke mentioned his future is not certain, but I hope that they use this and the team and so on to continue that momentum that we're building, like I mentioned earlier on in the video. So folks, if you're just joining us, like I said, this is the EXTV Live. You know, we do the topics as you can see here on the screen every week. It's selected by people. I don't just randomly choose these topics. And of course, sometimes topics may pop up while we're doing this. And we may actually do in the Q&A segment. So what I'm going to do is each week, like I said, usually on Wednesdays, this is a little bit different. Wednesday I'll have another one as well. We do the topics. It's fully live and interactive. So even if I mess up, it's going to be live. And At the end of this, we have a Q&A segment, and depending on the questions in the live feed, I will answer a couple questions and then go off. So like I said, continue to like, subscribe, share, follow us on EXTV Media, purchase merch, and you know, we do have another giveaway as well for another Trinidad Tobago jersey, folks. So just letting you know that now. So if the winner does not claim his jersey, I'm going to have to give it to somebody else. I said I wasn't going to mention it, but you know what? I will bring up his name. Let me pull it up really quickly. So where is it? Where is the winner? I had his name on the thing here. So it's Mark the Shark 7588. You are the winner. Where are you, Mark? Check out on the social media. Find out how to claim your jersey as soon as possible on Instagram or here, or you can email at us at extratimetvtt@gmail.com. And if you don't claim it, folks, it's up for grabs. So everybody in the live stream, tell your friends. And I did purchase a couple of jerseys if you want to do it. So folks, if you have any questions, I will allocate a couple seconds at the end of this when I'll do the final topic in a little while, and you can join in. So, folks, Trinidad Tobago versus Bermuda. I think he's probably going to go more of the same. He may possibly play Mitchell up front. I'm reasonably positive that we are going to get a positive result against Bermuda. I will do a more detailed preview tomorrow. But I think, I didn't want to get too technical with this preview. I think he's probably going to try the same formation. He's probably going to try a different starting lineup in some areas. I think Payne and those guys will start because Candines is not there, just to give them more playing time. Mitchell, I think, will get some playing time. Perhaps some rotation in the middle. We'll see. But I know for sure Molino is going to get some minutes in there and, get that ovation that he deserves. He may come on as a sub. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. So, folks, let me know what you think. How do you think Trinidad Tobago is going to do? I think Bermuda is going to put up a fight. They're going to play for pride. I'm hoping that Trinidad Tobago has their focus in mind and we come out there and we do a good performance. I could see us winning. I could see Bermuda giving us a little bit of a hard time. But I think the way we have been playing, I could honestly see us getting a comfortable victory. But, I could be wrong. That's how football is. So, folks, with that being said, let me know what you think. What do you think the game is going to be tomorrow? Are you going to go to the game? Do you think fans are going to jump off the bandwagon now that we're not going to the World Cup? Are people not going to turn up to the stadium on Tuesday? Let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you are happy with what Dwight Yorke is doing. What do you think about the potential game result? How do you think Dwight Yorke should approach it? I would love to hear it. It is rough. I mean, it bothers me a lot, but, we'll see how it goes. So, folks, like I said, before I go to the next topic, let me know if you're all going to be at the game. Let me all know if you think that people are going to support the game. Let me know what you think about Dwight Yorke's overall performance. All these things. Let me know what topics you'd like me to talk about next time. The channel has been growing. We now have the membership option where you could support, even with donations and so on. That's new. I didn't even know you could do that. So I appreciate that, folks. So we're going to head to our next topic. I don't know if I'm doing this correctly, but I'm going to try it, folks. I'm going to try it. And there we go. Cristiano Ronaldo, folks. This is a topic requested by the users. I'm saying, like I said, I'm going to react to a couple of the live stream things when I go to the end. So set your questions. I'm going to answer them at the end of this topic. So right now, this is not Trinidad Tobago football. A lot of people have been asking me because clearly there's a lot of Ronaldo and Messi fans. But Cristiano Ronaldo could miss some of the group stage games, if not all, because of a red card. So, for those of you who have been following the European qualifiers, Cristiano Ronaldo got a red card against Ireland. They lost against Ireland. Of course, Portugal had to play Macedonia today, and I think the score was like 9-0 or something like that, where they had to win. Of course, Ronaldo isn't there. So, of course, it's making all the news because a lot of people are saying it's undeserved. But the majority of people I'm seeing that saw the video saying he deserved a red card. Portugal and their coach, got behind Ronaldo and said he doesn't deserve a harsh punishment. But I think, of course, you're going to say that. I saw the replay and it looked fully deserved. It was an elbow. He was petulant and then he was mocking and so on. And I say this with all due respect. Everybody knows I'm a Leo Messi fan. I am a Messi fan. I'm also a Cristiano Ronaldo fan, which confuses a lot of people. But I have to admit, the personality, I saw the interview with P.S. Morgan and so on. I really don't understand what's going on in this guy's head. Saying the World Cup is a 7-game tournament. I mean, that is literally sour grapes. I mean, you literally contradict yourself all the time. You go on social media and you have P.S. Morgan who's enabling this guy. And I think if he speaks less, people would respect him more. He clearly is a very talented footballer. This guy is a generational talent, but he continues to act like a child. You know, it's amazing. Now I understand that he has his fans and he's a confident guy, and sometimes that's part of the personality of being an athlete. You have to, you know, put on a persona, which a lot of people might say is arrogant. I get that. But you know, the situation with, you know, the interviews and how he's acting, and I saw somebody in the live stream saying this. I actually think Portugal, it might be a blessing in disguise for Portugal. I think Portugal is a very strong team. I put them as one of my, you know, possible picks for the next World Cup. You know, World Cups, anything can happen. But I personally think Ronaldo is kind of slowing this team down a bit. He is still useful. I would not drop him. But, you know, he seems to bring a lot more drama than necessary. You know, he wants, I think I would like him to be the senior figure who could really carry the players and carry that champion attitude. But it seems like he even clashes with his own teammates sometimes. And of course, the PR comes out and says everything is okay. So, you know, I'm just going to go over to ESPN just to give you an update on this. So, according to ESPN, Cristiano Ronaldo is at serious risk of being banned for at least the first game of the 2026 World Cup after being shown a red card for the first time in his record-setting international campaign. So that's impressive. Portugal slumped to a 2-0 loss to the Republic of Ireland. But kudos to Ireland, folks. I mean, they were robbed by the French a couple of years ago. Everybody knows that game. Thierry Henry, come on. We all know what you did. I know France likes to moan about the World Cup final and blah, blah, blah. But you guys, you know what you did, Thierry Henry. And he owned up to it. You know, for those of you who don't know, Republic of Ireland, coached by Giovanni Trapattoni, the Italian coach, were on the verge of qualifying. And Thierry Henry scored. He did 2 handballs to score a goal. And it's on YouTube. If you guys don't believe me, you can check it out. But, you know, I'm really happy for Ireland. So Ireland, I think now in the playoffs, they won a game today. I think 3-2 in the last minute. And Portugal, I think, won their game today. In fact, let me pull it up while we're speaking. Let's see how Portugal did. I know they won. So let's pull it up really quickly. That's a good thing about live streams. You can do this. 9-1. Wow. So they defeated Armenia 9-1. And to me, folks, if I am a Portuguese fan, I'm thinking, you know, this team, the more they play without Ronaldo, it's actually better for them. You know, Vitinha and all these guys could start clicking. And, you know, it happened in the last World Cup and he threw a fit. And, you know, Santos, I forgot the name of the coach. Is it Santos? Yeah, he basically, you know, made his choice. And during the World Cup, Ronaldo was benched. But it basically sealed their qualification. A lot of cynical people are saying they hope, which is crazy to me, that Portugal doesn't qualify and they go through the playoffs. So that way he could get rid of his suspensions. That's crazy. If you need to get to the World Cup, you need to get to the World Cup. I mean, it's just that simple. That's a crazy thought. But like I said, you know, they seal their qualification, and a lot of people are saying it is well deserved. Some people saying it should be more. I saw some discussions with Shaka Hislop and those guys saying, you know, it should be standard. Some people are saying it's being blown out of proportion because it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Let me know your thoughts. You know, I know there's a lot of CR7 fans and Messi fans in there, but, you know, I could have that discussion where I think, you know, I think the 3-match ban is fair. So I'm just reading what ESPN says here. So the Al Nassr forward will serve a mandatory 1-game ban imposed for any red card when Portugal hosts Armenia on Sunday, knowing a win will secure. So, okay, so that's 1 game down. FIFA disciplinary rules require its judges to impose a ban of at least 2 matches for serious foul play. Interesting. The ban should be at least 3 matches for violent conduct. Now, I agree it's violent conduct. Most of the people I spoke to, which includes other analysts and coaches in the game, say it's violent conduct. But I'd love to hear what you all have to say, for those of you who saw that. A FIFA ban would apply to competitive games and could not be served in pre-tournament exhibition. So I was just going to ask that, you know, if Portugal decides to play some friendlies to try to get them out of the way. So I guess not, which is very clever, I guess. FIFA has taken 3 weeks after rounds of 2026 qualifying games to publish a global list of disciplinary verdicts, including for red cards, incidents such as crowd disorder. Now, however, FIFA is under less time pressure to process cases with no World Cup playoff games until March. But there is intense interest in Ronaldo's outcome. FIFA declined on Friday to suggest a timetable for the case. Now, folks, I'm going to give my personal opinion. I know a lot of people out there are already going to say, hey, Andre's a Messi fanboy. And I love Messi and I love Argentina. But I love good football. And I was actually one of Ronaldo's biggest supporters when nobody gave a crap about him. I told a lot of my friends that, you know, Cristiano Ronaldo, they said he was just a one-off in Manchester United. I said, no, he's a good player. I remember in Euro 2004, when I think they had one of their best squads ever. Funny enough, they were lacking a striker, just like Trinidad Tobago. I think they had Pauletta and Nuno Gomez, I think. They had Luis Figo, Deco, Rui Costa, Carvalho, I think, was there at the time. Ricardo, I think, was the goalkeeper. And, they reached the final and they lost to Greece, which is crazy. Up to this day, that's crazy. Greece beat them twice in that tournament. But, I really believe that lately, I don't know if his ego has gotten the better of him. Saying the World Cup is just a 7-game tournament on the P.S. Morgan interview. That trophy is not that important. And basically diminishing everything. And he always manages to bring up Messi in his interviews. So, of course, I'm not going to dive that line because I know there's Messi and Ronaldo fanboys and you all are nuts. You all are crazy. But he is not doing himself any favor. So, whether you like him or not, there's no mistake that he is a great player. Like I said before, a generational player. But this guy needs to relax, man. There's too much people around him. It's not P.S. Morgan. It's his sister on Twitter. He claims that he doesn't care, but he clearly does. He's even saying, that's, the World Cup is not his dream. But then you literally see videos of him saying that the World Cup is his dream. Come on. You don't cry like that after an elimination if the World Cup isn't your dream. Now, I understand when he said, it doesn't define a player. Because I personally think if Lionel Messi did not win a World Cup, he still would have been the greatest for me and many other people. I always said that. I think he was already the greatest. However, for a lot of people, winning the World Cup, that's the criteria. Shaka Hislop. So, it is what it is. So, folks, let me know what you think about Ronaldo. Do you think he should get a 3-match ban? Do you think it's been overdone? Are there Cristiano Ronaldo fans in here? Sui! Is that how you do it? Sui! Let me know. I think a 3-match ban is fair. I think a player of his caliber should act, a bit more mature. He is the captain. He wants to be that peripheral figure. He wants to be that leadership. But maybe it's just a personality thing, Maybe he just was having a rough game. But we've seen too much episodes of this petulance. And I'm not mad at him because he gets angry. I'm just mad that, he contradicts himself a lot. He says he doesn't care, but he does. And then I think whether he realizes it or not, he's actually helping Portugal play without him. So, a lot of people are saying he could be a negative to the team. I'm not saying that, but that's what a lot of people are saying. So I know this is off the topic, but this is what a topic people have been asking me to talk about. I wasn't going to do this, folks. While I was doing the graphics for this show, a lot of people, said, hey, what do you think about the Ronaldo thing? Even people asked me about Italy possibly not making it to the next World Cup. So I do cover a lot of other topics, folks. Italy's in the playoff spot. The Italian coach, Gennaro Gattuso, is complaining and saying how, it's easier in South America, which is insane. It's not. They lost today against Norway, I think 4-1, Haaland scoring 2 goals. So they have to play in the playoff spots. And, it is very possible, we may not, that's not confirmed yet. But the possibility of not seeing Italy in 3 World Cups is just insane to me. It's just absolutely insane. So there's a lot of international content. So folks, before I move on to the quick Q&A, if folks get your questions rolled out pretty quickly. If you have any questions, I will answer them. Let me know what you think about the format, what you think about the show. Do you think it's too long? Do you think it's too short? I'm very open to suggestions on how you want to do this. If you're a new viewer joining in, tell your friends and family and everybody else who you think would like the show. There is no topic that is off limits, and we try to keep things respectful. I will do this every week. It takes a lot of work, folks. This takes a lot of work. I am feeling a little bit under the weather, but I am doing this for you all. And like I said, be sure to like, subscribe, share, follow. You could join and subscribe to the channel and even make donations, buy merch, get access to very unique content, all these things. Plus, we'll be doing IRL streams at the games, all these things. You could look out for that on the Instagram and TikTok as well, where I'll be not just documenting the boring stuff, which is the interviews, but actually me just walking around the stadium, and you could see what a day is like for me at the stadium. I'll be doing that. You can support that as well. Very different content, folks. Very different. So like I said, you could give your thoughts, comments, and suggestions in the comment section below. You could send an email to extratimetvtt@gmail.com. And of course, Mark the Shark. If you don't claim your jersey, I'm going to have to give it to somebody else. And of course, if anybody still wants a Trinidad Tobago jersey, I do have them. So reach out to me as soon as possible here at extratimetvtt@gmail.com or on the socials. As you see, where are the socials? I have to load the socials. Where are they? I'm not seeing my socials. Where did they go? There they go. these socials here. And you could also follow me on my personal Instagram, which is Andre Soklal. I've been told to make my own personal TikTok, but whatever. I'm gonna do my first, according to some of my younger viewers, an IRL stream. So I'm gonna probably do that in next game. So like I said, folks, my next watch along, stay tuned for that. Trinidad Tobago, Bermuda. I'm gonna try to do it near to the stadium. I tried in vain last time. It's just they weren't accommodating me for whatever reason. So I'm gonna try to figure it out. I also need good internet connection, or else the stream will be crappy. So I may, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I want to be dedicated to all my viewers. So, with that being said, we're gonna head to the tail end of our segment, and I'm gonna try to pull it up really quickly, which is the Q&A. Boom, there we go. So, we're gonna do a couple questions here. So I'm gonna dedicate maybe about 5 minutes, depending on the question. So the first question is, and I saw a lot of comments in the live stream, folks, and I really appreciate that. And just a reminder to everybody, make sure and like and subscribe. I'm very close to 3,000 subscribers. Woohoo! Okay, what was that? I don't know. Okay, so Rods, we're gonna go in reverse order, and everybody who's in here right now, now is the time to answer your questions. Andre, where is Kenwin? I don't know where Kenwin is, but we'll definitely have him on. In fact, now that you said that, I'm going to ask, after the Bermuda game, I'm going to bring him back to the studio. What do you all think? I'm going to bring him back into the studio, and we could have a Q&A with Kenwin. I know a lot of people, I saw a post where it was reported, because Kenwin had his thoughts on how Trinidad Tobago should play. I think he said that, he thinks that Dwight Yorke should have been a bit more braver. And it was titled, he slams Dwight Yorke's tactics. We need to stop that in Trinidad Tobago, folks. I don't know why we do this. First of all, sensationalism is ridiculous. Trying to, somebody has a different opinion doesn't mean that they are slamming somebody. Stop that. Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Why do we do that? We always do that. It's very annoying. If you disagree with somebody, it means you hate that person. You could disagree agreeably. He likes doubles. I don't like doubles. Does it mean we are enemies? I don't know. If you understand what I'm saying. For my international viewers, doubles is a local delicacy down here. If you come to Trinidad, try it out. So that's so. Kenwin is. I'll bring Kenwin on. Okay, so Rods. So Ronel Joseph, once again, thank you for coming back. We need a show topic about TTFA, Trinidad football going forward, investments, academy, etc. I agree. And I was thinking about the formats because a lot of people have been doing interviews with the usual suspects in Trinidad and Tobago. A lot of the usual faces saying the same things over and over. When you do interviews, you see the same people saying the same things, and they're talking about the usual, oh, we need to fix the grassroots, we need to fix whatever. And I personally think they say all the right things, but then the execution part is very different. I could tell you unapologetically that over the years, I've seen a lot of people that shouldn't be there. Our general selection process of players is highly skewed in terms of, at youth level. I see a lot of players get up to a certain level, and then there's different forms of prejudice in there. Players being prejudiced against their area, even their economic background. I've seen some very talented players, get pushed up because, hey, you don't need this career. No, if Brazil was like that, we would not have Socrates and Kaká and all these guys. So we already have a small pool. Why would you do that? We have a beautiful, diverse country with players from all different backgrounds who have skills. Skills are not, a unique trait to just certain people. If you're good, you are good. I'm going to say something in the stream here, folks, that, I did in my thesis of one of my critiques of Trinidad and Tobago football as it stands right now. I'm going to say something, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this, just to answer your question, Renel. I told people, because I did a thesis, I'm not just some YouTube guy. I worked in sports. I studied analytics. I did a degree in sport management. I worked on national teams and clubs. And I could tell you this. I could safely say, if we had a young Lionel Messi and a Cristiano Ronaldo in Trinidad and Tobago football coming through our current youth development system, the highest level they would probably get, it's high school level, because some coach would probably say Cristiano Ronaldo is too skinny, which he was, and Messi is too quiet and, introverted. He would probably get some good game time at the high school level, and then maybe at the under 20 level, and then just disappear. I've seen many players that happen. There's no reason. They just decided, hey, it is what it is. Now, hopefully this time around that has changed. And that's something, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So, rods. We do that foolishness in cricket, West Indies cricket as well. Yep. I know. I've heard about that. I've seen it. And, it hurts us. It hurts us. And I definitely heard about the well-documented cases in West Indies cricket. So, I'm backtracking with the comments here. If anybody has any more questions, I'll go for about 4 more minutes, unless the questions are good and you all want me to continue. So like I said, folks, before I go, let me know what you think about the format. I want to do this. I do the watch-alongs, we do exclusive interviews, we do gaming content. I'm going to do the first IRL stream. I don't know how I'm going to do this on Tuesday. I have to figure that out. I may do one tomorrow because I'm going to go to the training session. So I may just do an IRL stream. We're allowed to record up to a certain point. So what do you all think, folks? Actually, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do an IRL stream, which is basically me live streaming myself. Going to the training session, just mingling with the media people, seeing some press, and then of course, the TTFA I'll have to shut it down after a while, and I'll probably just walk out the training session and talk to you guys. So you could probably see me doing the interviews, just a little quick rundown on how it goes. It may not be as energy filled as the last couple games because the World Cup hype is over, but maybe I'll do that. Okay, so let's go. So let me know. So I'm going down here. Ronel Joseph, since 2006 and years gone by saying why governments haven't built a proper academy, multi-purpose sports complex to improve sports in the country. So, very good point. I'm a sport management student, graduate. And one of the things we spoke about in the sport management degree, and we have a lot of sport management students, is the facility management aspect of sport in Trinidad and Tobago. We do not manage our facilities well. We don't. We don't manage them like how first world sport facilities are run. We don't treat sport like the business it is. There's a lot of people who just simply don't know how to do it. They have not, Trinidad and Tobago, let's talk about football in particular. They have not managed to bridge that gap between rebuilding faith in corporate Trinidad and Tobago and investing. A stadium should have franchises. They should have constant activity. I know everybody's talking about the whole situation with Brian Lara and the Feds and so on. But many massive stadiums around the world, when you go there, this is a stadium that has a CPL every year. Maybe the franchises should have a little setup at the stadium. Maybe they should have stadium tours. Hey, this is where TKR won the title, XYZ, all these things. And I'm sure somebody's going to listen to my idea and steal it and execute it poorly. Let me fix my screen behind there really quickly. Let me see if I can do this without looking. That's a pretty good job. There's so many things we could do that we don't do well. Facility management, we usually have guys and we have, a lot of the sport people. There are people who try, folks. Make no mistake. There are people who try. But I don't think it's done well. And I would say this as well, Renel. There is an element of Trinidad and Tobago, a certain segment of our population that has been alienated from football. They just have no interest. It's not marketed towards certain people. And, we have lost a large chunk. Of course, we have diehard football fans. Of course, we have the bandwagonists. But I have to admit in recent times that has changed. But, our fans, whenever things don't go well, we bail. We don't have that unless it's TKR, apparently. We don't have that. And we have to figure out very quickly how to use these qualified individuals. I'm not saying myself. I could do it if they're willing to hire somebody like me. But we have to rebuild that trust with corporate. We have a lot of people involved in Trinidad and Tobago football that have burnt the bridge. They don't trust these guys. Football is not seen as a serious investment, and it shows. Having Dwight Yorke here does have its perks because he's Dwight Yorke. He can attract sponsors, that maybe others can't. But it's a massive problem, which will be a whole other show. And we will talk about it. So, I'm going to go to the next one. Clint Brewster, what is Trinidad next football assignments after the quality? That's a very good question. I would like to see, because right now, I guess Dwight Yorke's contract, I think he said in his post-match conference, he has 6 months left on his contract. There's going to be a press thing tomorrow, so a lot of people, I will ask that question if you want. And folks, like I said, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to do a Instagram live. So in addition to the actual interview, you're going to see me just how I do things, just how crazy it could be. It's probably going to be not as exciting as usual, but I will ask that question because I think we should continue. I think we should use the window to prepare, as I mentioned earlier on in the video, for the Concacaf Nations League, the Gold Cup. Don't treat it like the end of the world. I know it's disappointing, but we have to build on this momentum that we built. And, we'll see. I haven't gotten any information yet. We don't know if Dwight Yorke's going to stay on. And, folks, you could let me know in the live stream if you think Dwight Yorke should stay on. So, I hope that answers your question, Clint. I will get more details tomorrow. Ronel Joseph, when is the next Concacaf Nations League? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't think they made the draws yet, Ronel. That's going to be definitely sometime from so I don't think they announced the dates yet, but it's probably like at least a year from now, maybe. It will be a nice target. We should start, not just using the whole, it was a learning experience. I get so furious. All these coaches, well, it was a learning experience. And one of my peeves over the years that I would hear from every coach. And, I would be like, well, then we've been learning so much, we should be geniuses by now. I think we need to start really, yes, learn, of course, but actually learn and apply the mistakes. And I think we're seeing that with Dwight. I personally am happy with Dwight, and I think we should keep him and, even improve the staff. Kevin Molino, if he's going to retire, keep him on as a kind of mentor for the players. It's good to have these players around the national setup and, build on that. So, Devon Musgrave. Andre, do you think Trinidad and Tobago has an established brand of football, or are we still flipping from formation to formation and different styles? That's a very good question, Devon. And I will tell you this. If you asked me that question 6 months ago, I would have said, you are right. That's exactly what we were doing. Angus had a very defensive style of play. Pragmatic, which I don't have a problem with. I know a lot of people don't like it. I don't have an issue with it. I'm okay. I appreciate different styles of football. Of course, the criticism was, a lot of people said we should attack more and we were very reactive, which Dwight Yorke addressed. And I could safely say, Devon, that I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing Dwight Yorke's style of play unfolding. It's being proactive. We have a core way we play, where we can switch from a back 4 to 3. Formations are generally just guidelines, but our teams can switch into a 5 at the back when defending, at the 3 at the back, or 4 at the back when attacking. And we have been a bit more flexible. Of course, we are missing that number 9, but I am seeing the pathway, Devon. I am seeing the pathway. That's a good style, and I think with the and the staff deserves some credit as well. I see of course, Russell Latipi and the analysts and so on for the team. I'd love to meet them because I was an analyst once for the women's team, and I think they're doing a great job. I think so. So I hope that answers. That's a great question, Devon. One of the best I've seen. Clint Brewster, everything started at TTFA. I believe that's why our football. Yeah. That's and I mentioned that earlier, and that's something I mentioned repeatedly in this video. A lot of people, talk in football, but they don't usually do anything. Rods, you're talking the truth. I hope. Well, I only deal with facts, folks. Ronel Joseph, I wanted to study sport management. Hopefully someday I can. Ronel, why not? Do it. You could probably come and work with me at EXTV as one of the internship jobs. If you have any questions about sport management, Ronel, feel free to email at extratimetvtt@gmail.com. I could give you some insight. You could see if that's something you want to do. It's a very challenging but also innovative field. You have to be very different. It's not like one of those degrees where you have jobs waiting for you right afterwards. It's a very different approach. Maybe it has been changing. We have a lot of people generating jobs. I am generating at EXTV as well, where I'm always bringing in interns. And there's so much different aspects of sport management, which I won't get into. But, Ronel, if you have any questions, I say go for it. Do your research. If you have any questions, I will answer them as well. Ronel, facts very well said. I have seen the bad state in Ramjohn Stadium for Carifta. That's another thing. And I don't know names, but the people who have been responsible for managing those stadiums and sporting facilities in Trinidad and Tobago have failed. You have failed miserably. Your job, we are good at building things, but we don't know how to monetize, maintain. There are people who try, and I know a couple of those people who try, but it's not enough. We have some of the best facilities in the Caribbean that are the envy of other countries, and we waste them and we run them into the ground. I remember I would even try to book games at the Manny Ramjohn Stadium, and they would always say, oh, by the way, it's booked. Yet there's no one there. It's only certain people would get the stadiums. The lights have not been fixed for years. The ability to generate revenue in the stadiums. You have people there who just clock in and leave. And, the facilities just run into the ground. We have people saying, forget the stadium, let's go back to the communities. Now, that's a whole different discussion. But we have these stadiums, we have to use them. We can't say, hey, go back to the communities. Now, I understand, there's a disconnect between clubs and communities. I get that. and they are actually correct. But you know, we have to find a way to merge these things. You know, if we have these stadiums, make use of them. Engage the stadium, and the clubs have to find ways to work with the governments and the people managing these facilities, because we're not rich enough to build, you know, individual club stadiums to incorporate those things. There's so much more, and we don't do that. And like I said, I'm not saying anything else that other people have not said before, but I'm going into a bit more details because I've seen it. I've worked with people who have done it in other countries, and there's people that are just not interested in that. They just want to go do their job, clock in, and if the facility falls apart, so be it. And football suffers. Okay, so let's see. XLOJ, consider your population, number of footballers, diversity, and your locally. Correct. And XLOJ, that's a very good point, and I'll tell you this. We don't use, even though our population is small and very diverse, we do not use it properly. There's a large chunk of our population that does get overlooked. And from different locations, there's coaches who do not accommodate players who live in, you know, areas that are really far. I know players who have spoken to me, who told me in confidence, you know, because of the location, they don't care. They don't care. They would have these half-hearted attempts, and you know, they would tell them, hey, you know, listen, I want to come to tryouts, and they couldn't be bothered. Now, on the other hand, if you really want to get to those training sessions, you know, you would find your way there. But I mean, come on, you have players coming from Mayaro, having to travel to Port of Spain. And then when they come to the training sessions, they're tired. That's like 2-3 hours of traveling sometimes, depending on the time of day. And you expect them to perform at training sessions and then go home. That's crazy. That's why we need to centralize, have, you know, more synchronized camps, increase the quality of our coaching, all these things that people say, but we don't. We don't do these things. We're trying, but we still have a long way to go. Excel, Suriname, and Curacao was using Holland. Yes, they are. Yes, they are, and they're doing a great job. I told people at the beginning of the qualifiers that Curacao was my favorite to go through, followed by Jamaica. It's not because I'm unpatriotic. It's because, you know, like I said, there's the patriotic side and the analytical side, and that's the analytical side. So, correct. You are absolutely correct. And they're doing a great job. Renel, watching what Morocco's done in the investment shows. Yes, they can. You know, we need people to know what they're doing, folks. There's a lot of people in Trinidad Tobago football that only care about themselves. And I won't get into that, but they know who they are, and they pick their friends, and you know, they come in, and you know, the people that could probably make a change don't get a chance, and if they do get a chance, they are judged harshly by people who failed before, and then we have this cycle, and you just keep bringing back the same people. It's a huge mess. At Chess, welcome. If your guys' federation sack Yorke, then they have no sense. He is right. He's the right fit. I'm actually scared of what this side could develop. Correct, Chess. I agree with you. I totally agree with you, Chess. I think they should keep him. And I think they should continue to support him and give him what he needs. And if he needs to make additions to his staff in football, you need a lot of scientific analysis and analytics, which a lot of people love to say in Trinidad and Tobago, but they don't even know what that means. I do, because that's what I study. You know, serious data analysis, getting people who know what they're doing. Stop trying to recycle guys that are in there and try to repurpose them for jobs. Get people who know what they're doing. You find the people who do these things and you get them out there and you create a cycle. You may not get it right away, but you build your own team. You know, we hear people saying, let's use data. They don't even know what that means. We bring in foreign analysts. Instead of recycling local guys, get the young, fresh minds. Like, I mean, I'm not tooting my own horn, but people like myself and others who can actually learn from these, take us in as interns. Not just me, but people like myself who are competent in that field. It's not just because, hey, I played some football in the past, so that means I know about analytics. No. I'm not saying data is everything. You still need footballing experience, but we have to, you know, improve, and we don't. So I agree with you, Chess. Sacking Yorke is a very terrible idea. XLOJ, Yorke has revived the fight and will, but increase in skills factors are against you for now. Yeah, it is an uphill task, but I think we are heading in the right direction. Whether we continue to stay in that direction, that remains to be seen. Like I said, I'll go for a couple more minutes. You guys are asking great questions. Like I said, everybody who's in here right now, be sure to like, subscribe, share, and follow all these socials before I continue, because I'm almost at the 3,000 mark with the subscribers, folks. So I saw Phantom84 subscribe, so we're getting to that 3,000 mark. You could follow all the socials. Follow me at EXTVmedia.com. You could also head over to EXTVmedia.com, because when you do that, you automatically qualify for a chance to win this. So right now, I did announce the winner. It's Mark the Shell. Let me pull up his name really quickly. Where is it? Mark the Shark 7588. You are the winner of this jersey with the autographs. Dante Seeley, Kylie Overy, Jaren Jackie, and Andre Raymond. And I may get some other signatures in here as well, folks. I will try to get Molino tomorrow as well. We're doing other giveaways. And I'd like to say a special thank you to the giveaway from Sportway. They donated that jersey for us. I could not get any jerseys at the time, and they gave us one for the giveaway. So a special thank you to Sportway. You could check out their store. They have a great store in Gulf City, and the owner is a very cool guy, Mitra. He has all your sporting needs, not just footballing needs, all your exercise equipment and all these things. And also, if you want, I managed, folks, this is completely unscripted, but I grabbed a couple of these today. I got them on sale. At the stadium, it was like $500. But, now, the price, I think it's still, I pay $500. So I had these here. So I have a couple extra. I took some for some of my friends and family. But for those of you, if you want any and you want to purchase one in the live stream or wherever, and you just want one for the sake of it, I have like about 5 or 6 around. I'm not a distributor. So if you all want one, I have a couple in there. Let me know. Reach out to me at extratimetvtt@gmail.com. You can message on the Instagram page, or even here in the live stream. Let me know afterwards if you all want that. So continuing. Like I said, I'm really tired, but I'll do a couple more. I'm doing this for you all. Andre, do you think the TTFA should organize more international friendlies to expose the players? Yes, to get exposure. 100% yes. The Unity Cup, I think, was brilliant. I think having Dwight Yorke helps. He has that stature in the game where he can negotiate. I think, playing against teams like Nigeria and so on in the AFCON Confederation is very good. They are top quality teams. If we could get some friendlies against South American teams, that would be great. We did it in the past under Tim Key's regime. And rolled over a little bit, I think, into David John Williams. Played Argentina. We played Uruguay. I think we played Peru, if I'm not mistaken. We need those things for commercial reasons, for exposure, and to get our players up to a certain standard. It is what it is. It is USA. I mean, it's a lot of negotiating. You need the right people to do that, and I think that's 100% what we should do. Let's see. So the next one, where am I? There's so much comments. I'm trying to catch up. Ronel Joseph, I was a victim. It was not a fan of the 5-4-2 every time. Ronel Joseph again. Chess, I agree. Oh, okay. So I'm going to the questions. So Clint Brewster, Andre, do you think the TTF? Yeah, okay. I'm back to where I was now, because the comments are just flying on my screen here, folks, which I appreciate. Rod, some real colonial old man thinking. Yeah, that really hurts us. That really hurts us, Rods. It definitely does. It really hurts us in that sort of thinking. Ronel Joseph, TTFA needs some long term. Yes, and people have been saying this for years, and we've been hearing the usual faces say it. And okay, folks, we got disconnected for a second there. So, thankfully, the feed is still up. That happens sometimes. I mean, I pay for the best possible internet, and that's crazy that we got disconnected. So, I'm going to continue. So, I'm going to read. The last one I did was Rod. So, I'll do a couple more, folks, and keep the questions coming. Like I said, for everybody who's in here, I'm going to ask you all to make sure and subscribe. It really helps. And click that notification bell. Ronel Joseph, there are some that I listening from Jamaican stream said that the same thing, that the TTFA need to keep Yorke. A lot of people agree with that. Some people don't, and I'm willing to listen to your reasons why, because that's what we do. It's okay if you have a different opinion. Nobody's going to ostracize you here. We're having discussions. So if you don't think he should be there, let me know. I personally think he should be there, but if you don't, let me know why. At chess, Omar Henry, blessings sir, I'm from Jamaica, but TNT was hard done. Don't have much confidence in this Jamaica team at all. Poor coaching. Omar Henry, first of all, I'm assuming you're from Jamaica. Lance Whitaker, when he came on our show, and folks, you could check that out. And he may come in tomorrow. We may have another interview with Lance Whitaker tomorrow, folks. So look out for that. But we'll talk about his Jamaica game. I've got a lot of love from the Jamaican fans and people around the Caribbean, folks. I agree. I think I was generally underwhelmed by Jamaica's performance in the qualifiers so far, but you know, Lance made an interesting comment. You know, it's better to win ugly than lose pretty, and you know, you guys are on the verge. A lot of people saying Jamaica should have Steve McLaren should have shown more courage in this game against Trinidad Tobago. But you know, let's take nothing away from Trinidad Tobago, and I see that you're giving us a compliment. It's a compliment to us that our team played really well, and it's great because you know our players are not playing in the same elite level clubs as the Jamaican squad, and I'm seeing we pretty much dominated the game, just we didn't score. That's what it is. Jamaica got that one counter attack, and it hurt us. And of course, good luck to you guys against Curacao. I have fans from Curacao in the stream as well. Good luck. I would love to see how that's going to go. Gus Hiddink is a great coach. And Steve McLaren, he has a lot of experience. So we'll see how that goes. So, Chess, Omar, why you have to air out that? So, XLOJ Jamaica has a paradox solved by TT. Talent, but we have a manager, not a coach. Opposite for Trinidad. Less talent growing though now with the grandfather rule. I see a lot of people in other forums have been criticizing the grandfather rule. I don't know why. And also, like I said, I have a personal peeve with how we do things in Trinidad and Tobago. We actually don't maximize our pool in Trinidad and Tobago. There's a lot of prejudice. There's a lot of stupidity, and I use the word stupidity in how we select players. There are players that literally just not picked, not even because they're not good, but simply because of where they're from. They're just not in with their particular crowd, and that's stupid, and it needs to stop. It needs to stop. So, yes. XLOJ in Jamaica. Listen, I have to say, all you Jamaicans out there, first of all, I hope you all are okay. That hurricane looked horrible from what we saw. I am really sorry that you all have to continue, go through this. I know in the past, this is not the first time a hurricane has hit you all. You all are a very resilient country. And, I'd like to say I hope that all of you are okay. Lance, informed me that, the death toll was 45 and growing. It can't be easy. And, you guys are still being in good spirits. And support this channel. Like, I could see the analytics. A large chunk of my viewership is from Jamaica. And I have to say, one of these days, you guys have inspired me to come and visit. I remember speaking to Mariah and Lance and these guys. And I will definitely come to visit and maybe meet one of you all and do a stream when I get there. What do you all think about that? I actually wanted to come when Inter Miami came there for the game. But I just couldn't do it, Maybe when I get some big sponsors, I'll do that. But I definitely don't mind coming, and you guys have been amazing. And I even with the competitive banter, I love the respect everybody has and the way everybody communicates, and not just from Jamaica, but from Aruba and Curacao and all these other places. I saw people from Hong Kong. That's crazy. But I'd like to say a special thank you to everybody, and of course, lots of love to Jamaica and everybody else who's in here. So I really appreciate that. Ronell, I was just saying, I've been saying the same thing, that Yorke needs to stay for the next cycle. Correct, I agree, and I think he needs to stay. Rods, our XG, which is expected goals, very well done, Rods, was just over 1, and our XG conceded was 0.75 before the Jamaica game. I think we, according to the stats, performed. The stats said we will perform, i.e. draw. Yeah, correct. And actually, that's why I base a lot of my analysis on those kind of stats and XG. And folks, if you looked at our match preview, both mines and the one with Lance Whitaker. I almost said Lance Armstrong. We both predicted draws. And that wasn't opinions, that wasn't emotions. That's based on the data. Our inability to finish. We created lots of chances, but we couldn't finish. And in the end, we were unfortunately correct. So, Rods, you're correct. Get More, welcome back. Get More, folk. UK has been one of my most loyal supporters when EXTV first started. He has been supporting me when I had no subscribers, and now he continues to be there. Get More. So I really appreciate you joining in. Welcome. And yes, it was a huge shame. And Get More, hit that subscribe. You see, Get More is always a champion for Extra Time TV. If I had to choose, if it wasn't a random draw, Get More would be the one to get the prize, folks. Definitely. But of course, all of you have been great as well. And I like this new community that we're building. So folks, hit that like and subscribe, as Get More said. It really helps the channel. We're going to try to head to that 3,000 mark. It's the milestone we're going for, and then we'll go to 5. The objective is to get to 10,000 subscribers. I don't know why I did that voice, but that's the objective. It takes a lot of work to do the channel. You can support the channel, purchase merch. We have the EXTV store as well. It delivers globally. It's just some merchandise, some cool hoodies and so on with my name, some cool designs that I created, just to show your support. And some of it also goes to charities as well. So you're doing multiple things. You're helping me, you're helping the channel, and you're helping someone else as well. And I will tell you what the charity is when you do the purchase, so you'll know. And I will even put pictures whenever we get those. You know, unfortunately, not a lot of people have been doing it. So hopefully that changes soon. And of course, you know, you can, you know, head over, support the membership option now. We can do that now, where you could support, make contributions if you like, you do super chats, all those things. It really helps the channel because it takes a lot of resources to do this, folks. A lot of resources. So, I'm going to do a couple more. Get more, yes, of course. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the support from you and everybody else. XLOJ, we actually do support all Caribbean. Yeah, correct. And I will be supporting Jamaica when they go to the World Cup. I'll probably see if I can get a jersey. I was trying to see if I could get a jersey so I could get some signatures while they were there. And I got a lot of love from the Jamaican media officer. He actually held back the press conference 60 seconds for me to get in because I was coming from the airport. So kudos to you, Simon, and the rest of the staff. Great. So, Omar Henry, Jamaica. Honestly, TT deserve to be in Jamaica position. You know, listen, you know, Jamaica, maybe they'll, you know, get it right. I mean, as Lance Whitaker said, you know, you can lose pretty and win ugly. Which one would you prefer? Would you guys like to play pretty football and, you know, not make it? So, you know, it's such a yin-yang. You know, like, I know Jamaica is probably capable of playing different styles of football. We're not seeing it yet, and maybe it just needs time to click. I've seen it with bigger teams, not just Jamaica. We see it with USA. The US men's national team has some decent players. So it's you know, hopefully they'll get it clicking, and, you know, by the time the World Cup comes around, Jamaica plays some friendlies, and, you know, we'll see how that goes. And we'll get some insight from Lance Whitaker tomorrow. He'll be coming on. He confirmed, I'm seeing in his email here. So, you know, we'll definitely do a little reaction to the game and get Lance Whitaker's thoughts on not just Trinidad Tobago, but also the upcoming game against Trinidad Tobago and Curacao. XLOJ, send your high school talents to Jamaica. High school teams will get them into international leagues. I think so. I think Nathaniel James, a couple other players. I think Kylie Overy was there for a little while. So, you know, why not? I mean, I would love for our football to develop, to get to that point. It seems like we were a little bit on our rise in the 2016 era, around the Stephen Hart era, and then I don't know what happened. It's just finances, you know, it's just a lot of these clubs they just don't have the finances and are just not well run organizations. And, you know, that's a whole other story. Get more, love you, my brother. Yeah, listen, I appreciate that. Chess, the thing we know the wittiness of Yorke, so we as Jamaicans were on edge. Nevertheless, good fight. But tell Curacao they have no claim to fame. They have to pass Trinidad to get to us. I mean, I'm excited to see that game, folks. Do you think I should do a watch-along for that game, even though I'm a Trinbago fan? Do you think I should do a watch-along? I mean, you can let me know in the chat right now, folks. I want everybody in the chat to let me know. I usually do live streams for Trinidad Tobago, but I really don't mind doing one for that Jamaica game, although I don't know how possible it is, because it'll probably be playing the same time as the Trinidad Tobago game. So I may jump from one to the next. What do you all think? I'm excited to see. I would love to do it. I would love to see Jamaica back in there. I mean, I have friends, we have fans in the stream from Curacao, so it'll be interesting. And you guys could help me out. You know, anything you think I'm missing, it could be fully engaging. This will not just be an Andre EXTV stream. It will be everybody from Jamaica. And, you know, if there's any information that you think I don't know, you know, we could do it. So I'm seeing a lot of people saying yes, Omar, yes, yes, yes. Okay, wow, okay. Well, I'll do that. And a lot of people have been asking me to do live streams of other things. You know, I will try. I will be doing like some gaming stuff as well. You could let me know what you think about the gaming content. We have stuff on TikTok. You know, I will be doing stuff on Twitch as well for the people. You know, I'll be playing this game as well. Getmore will know this because Getmore was one of the first people that I will be replaying this. Now, I laughed because I have a new streaming machine and it does not have a CD drive. So I'm going to have to reinstall a CD drive to reinstall the game. Or at least create. I know how to do it. I'll sort it out. So you all can check that out. So let me know what you all think about the content. I'm a massive Argentina fan. So I will be doing my Argentina streams maybe for the World Cup. I may be going to the World Cup. I'm not sure yet. So folks, like I said, continue to support me. I really appreciate the feedback. I love that this is live, folks. And I'm going to do this every week. So everybody in the stream right now, let me know what you think about this format. I'm doing this because people ask me to do it. Share with your friends and whoever you think would like it as well. We're creating a community here as well. Do you think this format is too long? I'm going to do this once a week because it takes a lot of work. I have to create all the graphics and to make it look very pretty for you all. And like I said, the format is the topics of your choosing. You all could send in questions, donations, memberships, all these things to help the channel. You could purchase merchandise. You could get cool prizes. We are giving away another jersey, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a Trinidad Tobago jersey because there's my store as well. They will be doing some giveaways. International jersey of your choice. I'm always doing giveaways, folks. I'm trying my best, and hopefully I get more partners and, we have more fun with these things. So let me know what you think. So I think Ronell is correct. Both games will be at 9, so that's going to be tough. But I could jump from game to game. Why not? Why not? I have the multiple screens that you all can't see it, so I'll do it. Why not, folks? I'll be just streaming like crazy. So let me know what you think about the format, about this particular format. Of course, I do the short form format, so the previews that are separate. I may consider clipping some of this content as well. But, let me know what you think about that. Because, we go for a long time, YouTube rewards, retention, and, all the viewers and so on. So yes, so I'm seeing Getmore saying I'd rather win ugly like my past girlfriends. Many were ugly, all were... Wow, okay then. Listen, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Getmore. Okay. Omar, yes. Everybody's saying yes to the stream. So yeah. So my one obstacle is, and I said it before in the last stream, I usually go to our local games and I do my usual press where I do the post-match. I'm going to do what you call an IRL stream with my cell phone. And I'm going to do... Tomorrow I'm going to go to the training session where I'm going to do a little stream and you all could jump in. It'll be on Instagram or TikTok. I don't know, whichever one. Because people have been asking me to do this, the younger fans. And you'll just see, me, I guess people wanted to see me going to the training session. What I do, I'll have to have somebody help me. We allowed about 15 minutes and then we have to shut everything off so you could see me doing the training session, mingling with the guys and things like that. So let me know if that's something you all want to see. I'm going to do it. Like I said, I'm going to try different forms of content for you all. So, yes, they're playing both at the same time. XLOJ, I watch fair and balanced commentary, so bias kindly lie to us and we would watch a lot. Okay. I'm usually not biased. People tell me I'm unbiased to the core. So I try to be unbiased. So I'm not sure. Just check all the final games in each group. Yeah. Yes, it does start at 9. Did you get to see Norway today? Yes. We spoke about that today in one of the earlier comments about Norway smashing the crap out of Italy. Italy possibly, they're going to have to go in the playoff, and it's not a guarantee they'll make it to to possibly their 3rd World Cup in a row. That's crazy. And then in 2014, they got knocked out in the group stage. In 2010, they got knocked out in the group stage. So in addition to missing possibly 3 World Cups, we haven't seen Italy in a knockout stage for a long time. So Italy, I like Serie A football. Inter Milan is my favorite team. But I don't know what's going on, man. That's a whole other discussion. We could talk about that. Have you seen it? Yes, as well. I really like that you all giving me. I want to talk about all these things, and maybe in the next show I could talk about it, folks. Would you all like me to do that? Like I said, you all get to choose the topics. You all could choose a topic. So, like, if I miss something today, because I'm gonna go soon, I could talk about it next time. In addition to the local content, I will talk about some high school football as well. But you all get to choose. And yes, I did see it, and I think it's exciting for Congo. I guess for the Super Eagles, Nigeria. It's tough. It's tough for them, but that's football these days. Other teams are stepping up their game. And former Trinidad Tobago coach Tom Saint Feet, depending on how you pronounce it, he's there. I forgot who he's coaching right now. In fact, let me check who he's coaching. Because he's been doing pretty well in the AFCON. Let's see, who is he coaching right now? According to this, Tom Saint-Fiet, if I'm pronouncing correctly. Saint-Fiet. Mark the Shark. Mark the Shark! You are the winner of our prize, folks. Mark the Shark came on, folks. So Mark the Shark, if you didn't know, you almost lost out, Mark, because I told them you had about 24. What's the claim this? You won the jersey, Mark. Congratulations. Whatever. So you got the jersey with the autographs from Dante Sealy, Kylie Ovre, Jaren Jackie, and Andre Raymond, and I will see if I can get Kevin Molino tomorrow. I'm going to go to the training session. So Mark the Shark, congratulations. So folks, the winner just came online. I saw his name match up over there. So congratulations, Mark. It's a random draw. It's some app that supposedly picks random people, and of course it favors people who comments more. Supposedly, I don't know. Is way too much, which is a good thing. So congratulations, Mark. So Mark, you know, you can reach out to me at my Instagram or at Extra Time TV TT, and you know, we could arrange for the pickup maybe at the Bermuda game or somewhere else, and you know, you could get your jersey as well, and we could do a nice photo op, and you know, we could probably meet for the first time, because I do remember you supporting a lot of my content as well as Get More and a few others. So Mark, congratulations. So Mark, you almost lost out because I told everybody, you know, if you didn't claim it, it was up for grabs. And of course we have another giveaway, and for everybody else, just a reminder, we do have some extra. I bought some extra jerseys because I wanted some for my family. But you know, anybody who wants, because apparently they're sold out everywhere, I just kept a couple because a lot of people have been mentioning they want the jerseys. So I got a couple of them for like $500 each. I'm not rich, so I'm just buying this because I'm, you know, for people, you know. So I took a couple extra for, honestly, because of you guys. I know a lot of people have been asking, so I'm seeing people even asking right now. So if anybody wants to buy those jerseys, I have a couple extra here. A lot of the red ones. I just took a few. I mean, I took about 7, but 3 are for relatives, so I have a couple extra in there. So yeah, so let me know. You could reach out to me. I'm pretty much just gonna give you what I paid, because you know, I gotta pay those bills. Because I'm not a distributor, I'm not a store. I don't sell the jerseys. So I got a couple and I kept them. So Mark, you're getting congrats from everybody in there. We'll do a nice social media post. Mark, what do you think about that? Let me know if you can meet me at, I don't know, if you want to meet me at a training session tomorrow at the Hazy Crawford, we can. I will be there with the national team as well. There'll probably be a post-match, a pre-match press conference. So if you want to come, you can join me as well. And, you know, maybe while you're there, we could get some signatures for you. We'll try some more signatures. What do you think about that? Okay. So, Mark, reach out to me as soon as possible, and let's work that out. And we'll work out the nitty-gritty as well. And, you know, I know, along with Get More and Rods and everybody else, you all have been loyal supporters of Extra Time TV. Son, it's over. Yes, it's over, Son. I see you're just joining in. And we're just about to wrap up as well. But like I said, you know, for folks, let me know what you think about this format of the show. I would really like your feedback. If you're okay with this, I'm going to do this type once a week in addition to the other content I have, which is the interviews and so on. I'm usually at the game. After the game, I do interviews with the players, but I wasn't there because I was doing the live stream. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to do this live stream near to the stadium. I won't be in the cool EXTV studio, but I want to make sure the internet connection is great. I've been trying to reach out to B-Mobile and DDCell in vain to try to set up some sort of thing, and it's been very difficult for months. Just saying. So Son, yes, it is over. So folks, you know, I think I'm going to wrap it up. Get More has been there from the beginning. Get More, you saw my setup from the very beginning, and I'm trying to continue to make it better. And, you know, I will be doing lots of different content. So before I go, folks, I'd like to say a special thank you. I was feeling a bit under the weather. And like I said, before I go, let me know what you think about the format. I'll be doing this once a week. I'll call it EXTV Live, where you choose the comments. As you can see on this side here, you choose the comments. And I'll always dedicate a little segment for Q&A, and we're chatting right now. Next time, I'm going to bring Kenwin Jones on or somebody else like that, and we could have some conversations, and it's very informal, and you all could actually support the channel now with the merch store. You could support now with memberships on YouTube, or you could support financially if you want, make donations, whatever. It's entirely up to you. And of course, you know, I will be having other items as well, and anybody who wants the jerseys as well, reach out to me as soon as possible. I have a couple left, so if you want to grab them, let me know. I will have them. And everybody else, I will be doing this once a week. Let me know if this stream is too long. What do you think about this format? Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Actually, give me a thumbs up, like in the, the live stream, and continue to subscribe. And, you know, we'll continue to grow as a community as well, folks. So like I said, I really appreciate doing this. My energy levels are starting to run a little bit low because I'm not feeling great. And Mark, like I said, talk to me. Let's do this. And of course, folks, there are other giveaways. Mark got the first prize, but we're gonna have another giveaway. In fact, if you know, I may give away one of the other jerseys I bought. That's one from me. If nobody buys, you know, takes them, I'll do a giveaway. But I'm doing it in case anybody wants. Okay, so if anybody wants, I have about 4 or 5 left here. If you all want them. So with that being said, folks, be sure to like, subscribe, share, follow us on all these socials. Follow me at Andre Suklal on Instagram. I've been told to do a TikTok, and tomorrow I'll be doing our first IRL stream, and hopefully the internet connection works, where I will have myself on Instagram live, seeing like how I get to the stadium, how I prepare. It's not going to be as exciting as the other live streams, because this match is more formality, but you can kind of see a little bit of the inside of how I do things, where you see me setting up, doing the interviews with the players, and when the interview is done, we have a 15-minute window, so I will walk around and guide you through it, and then after, I will have a little conversation with you all in the IRL stream, and you can check it out. So a lot of the younger viewers in the demographics asked me to do this, so I'll do it. I'll try it out, see how it works. What do you think? So, with that said, folks, I appreciate all of you for joining me. Mark, Ronell, Chess, everybody in there. Anybody who who's joining in the stream who didn't see it live, I really appreciate it. Get More, wow, Get More. Get More is now officially my first donation. So Get More, you automatically give yourself a prize for that. Get More. So one of these jerseys here is now yours. You know what? Get More, you put me in a good mood. You guys, listen, you guys are the best. You guys are the best. So I have 6 jerseys here. Get More, for that £5 donation. That gets you this jersey, Get More. Okay, so this is yours. It will be kept safely, as Gandalf said. Keep it safe. Keep it safe. Get More, you deserve this. Get More, you are a proper fan, and you all are. You just made my night, Get More. So, folks, so that's one less jersey. So continue to support Get More. I really appreciate that. This is the first time I got this, so I really appreciate you supporting my channel. It means a lot. So folks, Rods and everybody else, I really appreciate that. So folks, continue to support the channel. This really helps the channel. It really does. Rods, hey Andre, can you tell us the time of the stream via reminder so we can click? Okay, so yes, that's a good idea. So I'm thinking the best way. Now, I usually send it out on the YouTube community, which not everybody sees. I'm realizing that now. I'm thinking, Get More, man, you just made my night. And everybody else, I really appreciate that. So Get More, you are fantastic, bro. I don't know what to say. It means a lot. And anybody else who wants to, I welcome that. So Rods, that's a good question. And folks, you could let me know what you think. What is the best way? Because I do put it on the YouTube community. I do put it on the Facebook page. And I guess I could probably put it on the Instagram thing. I want to do it every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, that's the kind of testing time I'm doing. Every Wednesday at maybe 7 p.m. Trinidad Tobago time. What do you all think? That's something I could do. 7 p.m. Trinidad Tobago time. I'm actually thinking about creating a broadcast channel. I'll probably put a barcode in the next stream, so that way you all could get updates, because I do have a lot of updates in addition to this. We have a lot of different content as well. When we have little clips and so on, I will create a broadcast group, and I will put it in the notifications when they pop up, where you all can see what's going on. What do you think? But for now, let's agree that Wednesday I'll be doing the live stream. That's the tentative date, and I will be doing it just like this, the same format. If you all like it and continue to support as Get More just did, and if you want to purchase merchandise and so on, it delivers globally. It's just some cool EXTV merch, and like I said, you all get to decide the topics. You all get to ask the questions. It's live, it's raw. If I make a mistake, I can't escape. It's going to be live, and I'm always trying to improve the stream as well, and the engagement, and try new things. And I'll also be doing some gaming streams as well. And if anybody wants to challenge me as well, I'm just saying, if you want, you could add me at Dracool10 on the PSN network, and we can do it. So, folks, I think my energy levels are running a little bit low now. So I am going to definitely sign out now. I have been recovering from a little bit of a flu. So I think I'm sounding okay. So with that being said, folks, it's been an absolute pleasure, an absolute joy. Get More is from London, so folks, Get More, I may be coming to London at some point, so maybe we can meet up as well. That'll be great. And I'll be doing watch-alongs for other games as well. And everybody else, let me know if there's particular games. I may do it for like big Champions League games, and we could have a lime, as we say in Trinidad and Tobago. And everybody else, it is now 11:58. You guys have been making this, and gals have been making this so easy for me. Like, I never thought I would be doing this for 1 hour and 41 minutes. So like I said, look out for the watch-alongs, look out for the gaming streams, look out for the IRL stream tomorrow. The training session is around 6, so I would say 5 p.m. Trinidad Tobago time. I will do a live stream even from the car. Show me hustling to the stadium, rushing in, getting my mic set up, collecting my passes, all that fun stuff that apparently people want to see. So I'll do that. So with that being said, folks, it's been an absolute pleasure. And I'd like to say, stay tuned for the match preview. We'll have Lance Whitaker on tomorrow. We'll be doing a discussion, his reaction to the Trinidad Tobago game and the the Curacao Jamaica game, as well as the post-match comments if Dwight Yorke has any statements tomorrow, the IRL stream, gaming content, and I was told I should make my own TikTok. I don't know. Okay, but you can check us out on all the socials. So with that being said, folks, this is Andre Soklal of Extra Time TV, and I would like to say a special thank you, and get more. You're a legend because you are the first one to donate, and I hope many follow. So with that being said, folks, have a blessed night. Take care.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching Extra Time TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe.